Sullivan is on your right with his teamer control deck. Brian Coval is on your left with Grixis Colossus. You see the record, 10-2 for Brian, 9-2-1 for Adrian. And we are, boy, are we in a war here. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on. So Adrian is going to play a commit off a Torrential Gearhulk to bounce a Sky Sovereign, it appears. It looks like he got targeted by Elder Deep Fiend in his upkeep. And now he does have a tracker on the battlefield. And now he's going to play a Gnarlwood Dryad. But the opponent in Brian Coval has 2 Metalwork Colossi on the battlefield. So there's that.
There is that. You can't take a whole lot of shots from the Colossi.
No, not really.
But the Dryad's a good answer.
Yeah.
For a turn until the boat comes back.
Which should be now, roughly? No,
next turn.
Commit, yeah, commit put it second from the top. So a temporary reprieve. Now let's take a look at Metalwork Colossus. Now I know we had Jack Kiefer playing that deck yesterday. Some of you viewers at home may have had the opportunity to already see this deck in action. But Metalwork Colossus is an 11 mana 10/10. Great rate.
Not an 11 mana 10/10.
It's not an 11 mana 10/10.
That's a trick.
It costs X less to cast, where X is the total converted mana cost of non-creature artifacts you control. So Prophetic Prism and Hedron Archive and Cultivator's Caravan make it cheaper. And you can sacrifice 2 artifacts to return Metalwork Colossus from your graveyard to your hand. So if you kill it forever, it's actually not. Well, if you kill it, it's not gone forever.
Oh, it's coming back.
It's coming back. So that's what Brian is working with here. And Adrian is trying to stave off elimination. This is generally a tough matchup for control decks. Aggro decks can just kind of race it.
Sure.
Maybe they a little discard. So we saw Steven Dykeman yesterday casting some Transgress the Minds against Jack Kiefer to slow him down. Adrian really crossing the old fingers here with the Gnarlwood Dryad.
Please be enough.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. And we'll see if Torrential Gearhulk can get some work done too, as Sullivan's going to untap all these lands, draw a card with his teamer control deck, picked up another copy of Torrential Gearhulk, not too bad. I think he has a land he'd like to play. The Madison native will do that. He'll get another clue. Eight mana right now for Sullivan. You see the mana colors are not really an issue, it appears.
It looks like Adrian's actually done a pretty good job of getting out ahead in this game. He's facing down to 2 Colossi, but the opponent's at 8 life. So it's not like Brian can get overly aggressive, because one swing back from these fatties is going to finish the game off.
Yeah, but how aggressive can Adrian be?
Not very aggressive.
He would obviously love to close the game if he can, but he's having some difficulty getting there. As we're going to head back over, excuse me, to Coval. Just your classic run-of-the-mill matchup here in Standard.
Yep, this is exactly what we called at the start of day 1 yesterday.
We sure did nail it in our analysis. Grixis Colossus and Teamer Control, just deck A and deck B. Prophetic Prism going to allow Brian to draw a card. And now there's a Glint Nest Crane. That's a little scary if you're Adrian, because that thing could turn into anything.
Yeah, you don't want to worry about a 1/3, but it's what it grabs from its nest that's the problem.
Yeah, that's kind of the scary part. But he's going to let that resolve. So top 4 cards here for Brian. And he will select a metal. Well, let me make sure I get it right. Haven't seen it for a little bit.
Got Metal Spinner's Puzzle Knot.
Thank you, sir. And now it'll enter the battlefield. And Brian will draw a card. Remember, all these little artifacts that Brian plays is just to make the Metalwork Colossus a little bit cheaper.
Well, and then they're good to cash in later to rebuy the Colossus. To me, that was a very good turn for Brian.
I would hope.
Yeah, he didn't want to spend his whole turn casting the vehicle again, just to have it get countered. So instead, he cast a couple of artifacts, a Glint Nest Crane, and just advanced his board that way.
Sullivan is cashing a clue to draw a card. And he says, you know what? It was so nice, I'll do it twice. Let's make it thrice.
3 times, sir.
Adrian needs a little help. Now it's time to untap.
Well, we see we're squarely in the late game here, where both of these decks get to do the things they want to do, which is, that's kind of fun and exciting.
Eight mana. Probably a 9th on the way, and there that is. Spire Bluff Canal, so a clue here for Sullivan. Gnarlwood Drive that I would have to imagine it's Delirium, but it's actually not that big of a deal if it does or doesn't.
It doesn't matter one way or the other.
Because Death Touch is always going to remain on that creature. The Torrential Gearhulk, of course, and then Tireless Tracker that is very large.
Yeah, it's rare we see a tracker this big.
Adrian knows that Brian has a copy of Sky Sovereign, Council Flagship. Doesn't know much else about the contents of his hand. And of course, Brian, on his side, 2 Prophetic Prisms, a Metal Spinner's Puzzle Knot, 2 Metalwork Colossi, a Glintnest Crane, an Elder Deep Fiend, a bunch of lands, and a bunch of cards in hand. So, should have some fireworks here momentarily.
And a boat.
Yeah, boat's in the grip.
Sitting on a boat.
Gonna cash in the Puzzle Knot down to 6.
Cha-ching.
Maybe. The damage might matter. 6 isn't a ton of life.
Does Adrian have some reach in his deck?
Let's go a look in here. Doesn't really appear to be the case. Kind of taking a look at his sideboard. He's got all those trackers that he's boarded in. An Incendiary Flow. He's going to play a Commit to Memory once again on Metalwork Colossus. So now he's starting to open things up a little bit. Crack a clue, draw a card.
Yeah, with so many cards to work with, and his opponent kind of in a tough spot, I think he's going to find a way to win this game. I'm sure he's got a mess of counter spells over there. There's not a whole lot he needs to be afraid of.
Here's another land. Clue here for Sullivan. One of the interactions that Adrian can kind of work off of, too, is the Torrential Gearhulk plus Memory interaction, which would allow him to draw a lot of cards and still have a 5/6 on the battlefield. Not sure if he's ever going to go that way. It seems like more of a commit game than a memory game.
Yeah, this game he already has so many cards to work with. I think he wouldn't want to give his opponent a whole new hand. It is rare that we see a Tireless Tracker that can trade with a Colossus.
Oh, what do we have now? Torrential Gearhulk. Commit another copy of Metalwork Colossus. He's going to try to get in here for the W, it looks like.
Yeah, it's getting frisky.
Yeah, and that, I think, yeah, it's going to do it. All right, Adrian Sullivan's going to win this match over Brian Coval. 2-1. This unique build of Teamer Control worked its way through 2 copies of Metalwork Colossus to take down Grixis Colossus, and now for Adrian Sullivan, someone who, you take a look at the record now, he was 8-0 through Modern, so he was 1-2-1 through the standard portion yesterday. He's gotten a W here, so he's going to move to 10-2-1. Might be able to pick up 1 loss through this portion and make top 8. So right now, with 3 rounds left to go, we're probably going to project Adrian that if he goes 2-1 with Teamer Control, he'll make an invitational top 8.